The word trust shows up in some form in your book 16 times. And I believe that in an AI world, creating trust and trusted relationships is a superpower. And I want to know if you have advice for how people can create better trust.
There's only 3 ways to build trust in this world. And it doesn't matter which one of the 3. You have to have all 3 of these ingredients to trust. And anytime any one of these ingredients are lost, you will never have a trusting relationship. And so let me give you the 3 ingredients of trust that I believe they are. One is authenticity. So if I want to build a trusting relationship with Don, if I want to build a trusting relationship with Evan or whoever it is, they have to sense that I'm authentic. And I have to sense that they're authentic. And the reason why authenticity is so hard is because we live in a world where I'm not who I am. I'm who I think you want me to be, or who I think I need to be in front of you. And so we lose our authenticity. And a lot of that comes from, again, that self-love. If I don't love myself, there's no way I'm going to let you see the real me. And so you won't know. You just, today's the first time we've spoken face to face. Obviously, I know you through your podcast, and I sense through your podcast we have this parasocial relationship. A parasocial relationship is I feel like I've met you, even though I've never met you. I feel like we're brothers. I feel like we hang out because I have a relationship with you via social media. And so I have already sensed that you're authentic, but I've never met you face to face. I don't know whether you're authentic. You could be some crazy lunatic, but I don't know that. I can only sense whether you're authentic. So that's the first ingredient of trust is you have to sense that the other person's authentic. If you sense that I'm inauthentic or you're inauthentic, trust will never form because you'll say to yourself on a subconscious level, well, I don't get it. And you've met people, you're like, yeah, I don't get it. I don't sense they're authentic. They're not really who they say you are, and I'm out. And so authenticity is the first. Empathy is the second. So empathy is I have to sense that you care. I have to sense that you care. Well, we've talked about empathy a couple minutes ago, and sensing you care means that I have to sense that you're trying to understand my perspective. Well, if I'm too busy educating, and I'm not curious about you, then you can never sense I care if I'm not curious about you. So in order to be empathetic, you have to be curious. And so I will sense you care about me if you're curious about me, if you're asking questions about me. But if you're making it all about you, I don't sense you care. This has to do with you. I'm out. So the first 2 are at the sense that you are authentic, at the sense that you care. Empathy. The third is logic. And this is a really, really hard one. The third ingredient of trust is logic. And what logic means is your decision-making has to make sense to me. Your way of thinking has to make sense to me. This is why people never change politics. Republicans say conservatives stay conservative, liberals stay liberals, and it's because we lack trust. And the reason we lack trust is because if I'm a conservative, a liberal's way of thinking doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, well, I don't understand. How could they think that? How could they make that decision? I'm not curious. I'm judgmental, and your logic doesn't make sense to me. And vice versa. And so when I'm dealing with you, the way that you carry yourself, the decisions you make, they have to resonate with me. They have to make sense with me. They got to be like, okay, I can see that way of thinking. I can see why he made that decision or how he thinks that. So logic is the third one. Well, the challenge is when all 3 ingredients are met, when I have authenticity, when you sense I'm authentic, when you sense I care and I'm empathetic, and my decision making, what I'm talking about makes sense to you, you'll form a very quick, like within a couple minutes, you'll make a decision that you trust me on a very, very weak base, a very tight. We call it the trust triangle. The triangle will be formed, but it's very delicate. Well, what happens is over a period of time, my behaviors then start to reinforce that triangle. So if we have this podcast and 2 weeks later I see you at an event in Minneapolis and we have a conversation, you'll either support the authenticity of what I showed today, or you won't, right? Or I won't. And so if I show up and you're like, yeah, that's exactly how I remember this guy to be. Like he's 6'8", he's got these big hands, he's animated. Like yeah, that's Chad. That's Chad. Well, then the authenticity gets stronger. If I show I care and I do what I say I'm going to do, and I make it about you and I don't always make it about me, you'll go, yeah, he supports this idea that he cares. And if my decisions stay consistent, like over and over, you'll be like, yeah, I get it. I understand him.